Hey, English 111. We are in week 3, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about, we're in week 4. Week 4, and I'm going to talk to you guys about A Raisin in the Sun. I'm going to talk to you about the scholarly article that is assigned to you this week and how to find a second scholarly article that you will be using for your paper on A Raisin in the Sun. So last week you finished reading A Raisin in the Sun and took the quiz. This week you will be moving forward and reading some analysis on the play, and then you will be coming up with your ideas for your own analysis of the play. So if you open up Moodle and kind of follow along with me, you guys are essentially in planning and conducting your research. That's what you're doing this week. You're conducting additional research. So remember that the play itself is your anchor text, meaning you've already read the main thing that you'll use for your paper. Hopefully you actively read that like I had suggested, and you took notes and made notations of quotations that stood out to you, because you will need to go back to those when you're formulating what you're going to focus on for your paper. So there's a critical analysis essay that I provide you. You are allowed to use this as one of the 2 required papers for, or additional texts for your research paper. So if you go underneath the critical analysis essay to the literary analysis essay assignment, this just tells you basically what you guys are doing over the next couple of weeks. So over the next couple of weeks, you're going to be writing a literary analysis of A Raisin in the Sun. And what you're going to do is you're either going to examine a theme statement or a symbol of the play. And you're essentially saying that Lorraine Hansberry did things intentionally, and this is what she wanted to show through her play. So in order to do that, you will focus on the play itself, and that will be something that you cite. You will focus on 2 scholarly articles, and I am providing one of them. So I'm going back to Moodle. That first article that I provide for you guys, there's a PDF here. You're welcome to print it out. I encourage you to print it and annotate it, highlight, annotate, make note of things that stand out to you, okay? So this particular article, make sure when you guys are searching for a second article, you always read the abstract first to see if it's about what you need. So when we read this article, the abstract of this article, we see that they're stating that Lorraine Hansberry is, that they're going to argue that due to racism, African Americans ended up in unequal economic and social conditions. And Hansberry shows that in her play. That's what they're going to say in this article. So if you guys want to talk about racial disparities economically, socially, or how dreams are unattainable or any of those types of things, you're going to find information in this article that will help you to prove that. Okay, so this week you need to read and annotate this article. And you also need to locate a second article. And in order to do that, we're going to go to the LRC, which your link for the LRC I'm going to put in this week, but under course information is the link for this, for the LRC, and I'll also move a link to this week. But I'm going to click on Library LRC under course information. I'm going to open the link in a new tab. And now I've pulled up the Learning Resources Center. You can also access this through the webpage for LCC, but the link takes you straight here. So I'm going to go to, on the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on Library Databases. Click on Library Databases. Now, you don't want to search the play here because there is no database about A Raisin in the Sun. We want to choose a database and then search for articles within that database. So on the right-hand side, you'll see popular databases. I always suggest that people use NC Live because it's really comprehensive and it has a lot of different databases within it. So I'm going to click on NC Live on the right-hand side. And now NC Live comes up. Now I type in the topic that I'm looking for, okay? So I'm going to just do a general A Raisin in the Sun search because I haven't decided what I'm writing my paper on yet. So A Raisin in the Sun, I typed that into my search bar, enter, and then you're going to have 3 columns that show up: scholarly articles, news magazine articles, and ebooks. And I am going to only use scholarly articles. So I click there, and all of the scholarly articles that are available will pop up. You'll see the second article that's there is the article I provided you. So don't pick that one because you already have it. I provided it. But I am going to click on that because when you open it up, on the right-hand side, never mind, this is the wrong one. Let me go back. So once you open that up, I have to find a different example for it. Anyway, you can cite it and you'll be able to get your full citation, all right? So why does that look different? Oh, that's why. So they've changed the way that it looks a little bit. So on the right-hand side, there are these little green circles. One says download the PDF. I highly suggest you download the PDF of the article you choose and save it to your computer so you can always find it. Next to it, there's these little quotation marks. That's cite. Click that. And when you click it, your citation will come up, but it will come up in APA format, which is not what we're using. We're using MLA. So you need to go to the drop-down box, click MLA 8th edition, and it will put it in proper MLA citation format. You need to know how to do that for your second article because you have to provide that citation in your journal this week. So make sure you get that done, okay? So I'm going to go back to my search and you'll see there's a study of Black consciousness for Raisin in the Sun. Am I African or American? Du Boisian double consciousness and a Raisin in the Sun. So that's talking about W.E.B. Du Bois and his idea that there was a double consciousness. Was I African or was I American? That falls under African American pride for one of the themes that you can investigate. So that might be a really good article to read. Okay. Roof of the Southern Home. Illegible politics of interpersonal justice. Okay, all of these articles, you can read them, but you're going to choose one. Somewhat like war, the aesthetics of segregation. So if you talk about, you know, their desire to integrate into that white neighborhood, that might be the article for you. Okay, so this week, what you're doing is you are reading the article that I provide. You are reading a second article that you find on your own. It is imperative that when you read these articles, you are annotating, you are highlighting, you are taking notes, and you are really gathering information. Because next week, when it's time for you to write your thesis and do your outline, if you have not done the pre-work and not done the reading, it's going to be very difficult for you to come up with a thesis statement. So understand that right now you are just selecting your articles. You're looking for commonalities between those two, and you're going to formulate a thesis next week for your paper. In addition to the reading this week, you will complete your essay test on A Raisin in the Sun. So for the essay test, you need to be very careful. You have 60 minutes to complete this test. That is it. Okay, it is a timed assignment. I do not expect it to be perfect. What I am looking for is a 5-paragraph essay, and you're going to choose one of the 4 prompts, and you're going to answer it. I don't expect specific quotes from the play, but you must reference the play. So you would say like, this happened or this happened without quoting it specifically, because you're probably not going to have time to have that in front of you, okay? The questions are available for you before you start writing, so feel free to make notes and prepare as you need, but you have 60 minutes to complete the essay test. So make sure that once you start it, you have a full hour to work, okay? So this week you have 2 things due. The only things you are turning into me are your journal, and your journal requires you to let me know what your MLA formatted citation is for your journal article, and then you're going to write a brief summary of what it's about, okay? And then next week we will be writing a thesis and an outline. Okay, and then also you're going to do that essay test. So those two things are due this week. I do provide you guys with a mini grammar lesson about run-on sentences, and there are practices available for you. Know that I'm not quizzing you on that, but I do expect you to know and not write with run-on sentences. So make sure that you do kind of educate yourself there. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I will do my best to assist you with those questions. Have a great week. Enjoy reading those scholarly articles. Take your time with them. Read and reread, annotate. Make sure you have a good idea and a solid background, because next week we're going to write a thesis and outline, and then you're going to write a paper. Have a great week.